Today I'm so pleased to be speaking with Lama Surya. I also call Lama Surya by his initials, LSD, as well as the Delhi Lama, or simply my friend, the Good Lama. Lama Surya is one of the most learned and highly trained American-born lamas in the Tibetan Dzogchen tradition. The Good Lama is the founder of the Dzogchen Foundation and the author of many books, including a new book from Sounds True, Make Me One with Everything, and Awakening the Buddha Within. Lama Surya, welcome. Welcome to the Meditation Summit.
Thank you. I love it. You're the good Tammy to me.
Thank you. Your job, your mission, should you decide to accept it, is to introduce our Meditation Summit participants to the Dzogchen tradition of meditation. Take it away, LSD.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tammy, and Sounds True, and all that those who have gone before us on the spiritual path and are opening the way for us all. Thank you. And all of you who are joining us too. Let's co-meditate, intermeditate, and merge-tate together today. And with everyone, including all in our hearts and our prayers and our practices and our noble-minded aspirations today. I'd like to begin with a chant just to set the mood. Jancha Samcha Krimpoche Make Pananke Gyochi Yepa Nyampa Mepaya Kane Kandu Belwa Show. May the lamp of enlightenment be ignited. May the seed of enlightenment be planted where it has not yet began. And where it has, may it arise. May it be watered and flower. May the light be fanned into flame and illumine the darkness of ignorance forever, always. And may we all together fulfill the promise of the awakening, the enlightenment journey of oneness all together now. And I bow to the Buddha, the Buddha-ness, the divine, the light, in your seat, in your place, in your heart, mind, body, and soul. May all beings realize it, awaken to it, and be benefited by it for the boundless delight and liberation of one and all. The Dzogchen tradition of the Himalayas is a timeless and yet very timely practice-oriented tradition. Of course, it's based in Buddhist philosophy and ethics and practice, becoming better people and contributing to a better world, less selfish, more loving, and so on. But specifically, as you might even be able to tell from the prayers, recognizing not just the goal far away, but the ground, the fundament, our true nature, our primordial being in us, the Buddha in you, in me, in everyone, all beings endowed with the luminous Buddha nature, not just human beings, not just Buddhists, not just our friends or co-believers, but all beings endowed with the gorgeous, buoyant, luminous Buddha nature. So there's a wholeness, there's an inner peace, there's the nirvana right where you are in your backyard to be found, as well as a path of development and progress that we could look at and move towards on the journey of awakening and enlightenment. In Dzogchen, we talk about the ground, the fundament, the innate, the Buddha within. Dzogchen means the natural great perfection or innate great completeness. Mahahati, Dzogchen, Dzogchen, the natural great perfection, the innate Buddha-ness, the wholeness, the divinity in each of us. The ground, the basis, and also the path of exploring and developing and realizing and deepening our experience of realization of integrating that ground and realizing it totally, checking it out thoroughly until we gain the fruit or the result or stabilize our recognition. So although it, whatever we call it, as a goal or as a higher power or as a other shore nirvana, it may seem far from us. We know we're never far from it. It's really never far from us. It's within. As some people say, Buddha himself said, there is nirvanic peace in things left just as they are. That's an awesome provocative statement. What about all the crap that's going on in the world? Exactly. How can I make peace? How can I be at peace with that? As well as trying to work for a better world and mind training, attitude transformation, opening heart and mind, serving and contributing. Of course, it seems like a contradiction, but there's a balance point which we can expand our view, our outlook, and our meditation, which is our subject today. Meditation, view, meditation, and then action. So we can enter into action through wisdom with our wisdom eye open, seeing through the illusion of separation, recognizing the light in all and everything. Oh, this too is part of it. They too are part of it. Oh, that candidate for the other party. Those people that don't believe in what we believe in. Those people even who are against us, they're part of it too. They have their right in their life. So the view, meditation, and action, the ground, path, and fruit is how Dzogchen is explained as a particular path within Buddhism with its eightfold path and so on, path of enlightenment. So first, recognizing the possibility that we can just be or sit back and take a breath and come home to ourselves, our true nature, not our small, separate, egotistical selves. That's the view. And to glimpse that, to recognize or be introduced to that, that's the first aspect or step of this great path, not a linear path, but a way of arriving home in ourselves. And then the meditation we call non-meditation, or just being or seeing through, cutting through, being through, which I'm going to instruct in a few minutes, in the form of skygazing. I've coined it skygazing. In Tibetan, it's Namkai Naljor, sky space union yoga or oneness yoga, with eyes open and so on, spacious, lucid, clear. So from that view of everything perfect or complete or lawful unfolding as it is, come the meditation of non-meditation, of just being, of resting on our laurels, sitting in our Buddha seat. I think assuming our Buddha seat is an excellent way of languaging it, although words are such weak translations of these profundities. The meditation of non-meditation, of just seeing through illusion and separateness, of luminosity, of clarity, of lucidity, open, empty, transparent, yet lucidly present and awakeful. View, meditation, and then comes action guided by that clarity and transparency and lucidity. So that's the path of Dzogchen if we talked about the theory of it. And the meditation then becomes, and it has some special aspects of it. Usually we might think of meditation as with eyes closed, or longer is better, or trying not to think. These are not really subtle or sophisticated understandings about meditation. It's fine in the beginning. But this kind of meditation is somewhat advanced, or it requires acute clarity to just be, not just to count how many bows we do or prayers or mantras, as in general religious practice or contemplative practices even. This is not just basic mindfulness of breathing or just mindfulness or yoga for health. This is a way of oneness, of total integration, of enlightenment, and how we can find awakening now, access it directly. And I'm going to instruct in the main Dzogchen meditation, if you want to call it practice. There are actually 2 or 3 kinds or aspects, but Tregchud is the main Dzogchen meditation, the seeing through or being through, Tregchud, seeing through separateness in the form of skygazing. And particularly this Tibetan awareness training or mindfulness training, remembering to remember what we're doing while we're doing it. Not just breath counting, not just trying to calm and clear our mind, but being aware of thoughts, being aware of feelings, not trying to suppress feelings or emotions and so on. This is very important. So Tibetan mindfulness has a few different kinds and aspects, like there's directed or just panoramic. There's innate. Attention itself is mindfulness. If we're interested in something, there's natural mindfulness, because when we pay attention. So if we raise our interest and curiosity and seeking mind, or bodhicitta, seeking truth and reality, there's a natural mindfulness that comes with that. And then there's cultivated mindfulness as we develop mindful awareness, moment-to-moment nowness awareness, mindfulness on the path. And then there's fruit or dharmakaya mindfulness, which is the whole enchilada, which is our luminous being. Even awareness while we're asleep, like in lucid dreaming or in a coma, where some people in coma might hear things. There's still some kind of awareness. So that's a bigger awareness. It's not something that we cultivate or concentrate on. And we can be in touch with that also right now. So mindfulness isn't our subject today, but I'm just mentioning that in terms of there is Tibetan awareness training and 5 or 6 kinds of mindfulness we could refer to as we go deeper and round out our spiritual practice on our seat and in daily life, where the rubber really meets the road on the spiritual path. The Dzogchen tradition is based, not quite uniquely, but it's got its unique characteristic, along with its sister practice of Mahamudra, or the bigger picture, the great perspective Mahamudra practice of Tibet. It's based on transmission more than teachings, on direct realization, on presence with a capital P, not just trying to get a better or happier state of mind, but being totally present, awareful, and even accepting, one with whatever arises. Oh, this too, seeing through the illusion of separateness and lower forms of discrimination between good and bad based on liking and disliking. So transmission rather than just teaching alone, although theory and practice go together well. So I hope that something's being transmitted here in this introduction to Dzogchen, the natural great perfection or luminous great completeness teachings, the heart of the Dharma, as my teachers used to call it, the snow lion's milk of crazy wisdom that makes everything into the path from which one cannot fall or stray, not waiting for anything in the future, not waiting, always meditating beyond any idea of meditation, a naked awareness practice, seeing through illusion of separateness, including oneself, seeing through the illusion of separate self. Because seeing through oneself and one's small self, seeing through oneself is seeing Buddha, is being Buddha right now. And though we may feel far from that, it's never far from us, I promise you, I assure you. In fact, if you don't find that for yourself after some time, you'll get your money back here from Sounds True, from this free meditation summit. Because this is about lightening up as well as enlightening up. Not promises, not hope, and not fear, which go together and clash, but really appreciating and reverencing and savoring and also looking into, exploring whatever is, which is right now or never, as always. If we're seekers, we need to be honest and candid with ourselves. Self-deception is one of the biggest potholes on the spiritual path. So seeing it as it is our meditation. We call it seeing through or being through, cutting through the illusion of separateness, cutting through mere concepts, and experiencing mind-to-mind transmission, as it were, as if everything is our teacher or everything is our beloved, everything is our consort, if you want to talk Tantra or non-dual interwovenness. Everything is our guru, if you want to talk guru devotion and guru yoga practice of the different traditions. Everything is it, to put it boldly in English, as the Zen text says. Everything is it. There's nothing outside of it. We are it, and everything is it. So Dzogchen has a unique, I think, window onto this universal truth that excludes nothing, that includes everything. And now that I've been talking about it for a while, and of course, there's a long lineage of masters reaching back to the Buddha on earth 26 years ago, and even before that to the primordial Buddha all good, or Samantabhadra, Kirtizampo in Tibetan. But there's also lineage coming down from us from the past, but there's also the lineage within our heart to be unfolded as we reach deeper back to the source, like the Garden of Eden that is within us, not just in history or in mythology, but the all good, the natural state, the great peace, wholeness, and oneness that we can find even now. That is the natural great perfection, not some kind of Tibetan teaching or theory or religion. And that's where our meditation comes in. In Dzogchen meditation, we don't stress concentration as much as awareness of what is, not trying to limit it to just a mantra or a candle flame or visualization, but moment to moment panoramic awareness, natural awareness. Naturalness is the way, as we say. And also we don't stress duration. Not 1 hour, 2 hours, how long are you meditating? And I'm a person that's done 3-year traditional Dzogchen Tibetan meditation retreats. But we don't stress length, quantity as much as quality. So there's a pithy instruction, we call them the pith instructions of the lineage, personal words of wisdom or experiential pointers, tips and pointers, pith instructions. It says, short duration, many times repeated. I call it many quickies rather than few prolongies. Yungtung Dramang in Tibetan. Many quickies rather than few longies. Because every moment we can refresh, we can cut through, we see through. Every moment is fresh, and living in the now is the only place we can ever be. So why think that we're anywhere else? Let's not get fooled. Thinking about the future is nowness awareness, thinking about the future. Remembering the past is also nowness awareness, remembering. So nowness awareness is the true, unfabricated, naked Buddha or Buddha mind within, as the Dzogchen masters say. So now I'd like to start guiding a little more directly into our guided meditation part of our time together, of this co-meditation. As we reach the summit, the pinnacle, the sovereign of views of being Buddha, not just praying to Buddha or thinking there's one Buddha in the past, but relating to our innate Buddha-ness, our Buddha nature, Tathagata Garbha, our true nature of Buddha mind, the inner light, not optical light, the inner luminosity. So please make yourself comfortable if you're not already. And take a breath and let everything go. Let's do it together, all together now. Inhaling and exhaling and relaxing and releasing. Eyes open, ears open. Did I say yet? Eyes open, nose open, heart and mind open. Did I mention yet? Eyes open. Half gaze if you like. Otherwise, even in front of you, sky gazing, space mingling, infinite dissolving, not staring. Breathe in again, and with an exhalation, a little ah, say ah for Dr. Das. Ah. What a relief. What a release. Ah. I didn't hear you. One more time. Inhaling, feeling your lower belly, your hara, navel chakra, and exhaling. Ah. Merging with the infinite, the sky, the space, as a metaphor for open awareness. Totality. Eyes open, everything open, 360-degree ball of luminous awareness. Not looking outwards, not looking inwards, not getting hung up anywhere in between, just sky gazing, space mingling. You don't need to look at the outside sky if you're inside, just space mingling. Open and aware, like your ears open, not pointed at this direction or that direction. Eyes easy, not staring, ears, everything open, heart, mind open, inclusive, stomach, anus, diaphragm open, just breathing, just sitting, just being. Aware of breathing in, letting it go out, aware of breathing out while exhaling and letting everything else go by, dear friends. co-meditating together, letting everything go by like flotsam and jetsam on the stream of consciousness, the river of awareness, without giving into attraction, aversion, judgment, or evaluation. Everything is part of it. The three principles of natural meditation: just sitting, natural body, no special posture. Second, just breathing, natural breath and energy, not breath pumping, breath holding, breath counting, as in some practices. Natural breath, natural flow, let it go. Just sitting, natural body, just breathing, natural breath and energy. A third, just being, natural heart, mind, as it is. Awareness alone, aware of thoughts, aware of sounds, aware of feelings in the body, physical sensations. Aware, willless and permanent, ownerless phenomena and mind stuff, phenomena rolling on. Seeing through the illusion of attraction and aversion, resting in the naked presence, awareness itself. What words can we use? The Buddha heart mind, the natural great perfection, the ground and path of Dzogchen, one in the non-meditation of seeing through. Naked awareness, awareness, aware of awareness, a metacognition, knowing the knowing, looking at the looker, seeing through the seeing, be free. Natural awareness, this breath, only breath, this moment, only moment. How sweet it is. Natural luminous buoyance, open and aware, clear and delightful. Not looking outside or anything or inside or getting hung up in between, free flowing, the great Tao, innate energy and cosmic energy just flows, it's not static, you have to stop it. Thoughts, feelings, perceptions are part of it, the great Tao, of innate wakefulness. Call it awareness if you like, awareness with a capital A plus, aware of whatever arises and goes on, letting go, letting come and go, letting be, resting in the natural great perfection, natural great peace. Everything settles and the clarity emerges from within. This breath, only breath, this moment, only moment, Imaho, wondrous, joyous, yes. Love you a long time. Dance together. Two in one. Awareness, empty, open, transparent, brilliant, scintillating. Mind to mind, heart to heart, transmission, spiritual resonance. Go meditating into being, into meditating together. In the natural great perfection of things left just as they are, just for now. Action later. Great perfection of things left just as they are. Beautiful. Joyous dharma of wakefulness, awakening, awareness with a capital A plus. The first letter, the only letter we need, the whole alphabet of the myriad things. A plus for effortless. seeing through, being through. Natural flow, let it go. Just know. Awareness alone. Awake. Clear. Awareness. And this awareness, the true Buddha, is within. True nature. Nowhere to go, nothing to get, no one to get there. Assume your Buddha seat to come home to yourself. The true nature. Thunder and lightning of awareness. One part of the room in the vast sky of awareness for everything. The sky remains uncorrupted, unmoved. Sky-like nature of innate Buddha mind. Awareness alone. Be allowed to blink. Don't make it a staring contest. Relaxed, open, spontaneous, incandescently present and accounted for, aware, awareful. Presencing is the practice. Capital P. P for Buddha. Everything expressions of that. Like God's pseudopods. The dance, the endless procession, the Easter parade of Dharmakaya awareness and all its phantasmagorical projections and perceptions. Staying home at the source. Nothing more to do or undo. Undo the habit of overdoing. The great of the bodhisattvas. Warm, kind, clear, inseparable from one and all. A plus for bodhisattva. The Buddha in you. All Buddhas by nature, we only have to recognize our true nature and what we are. One and inseparable. Seeing through, just being through and through. The nirvanic peace of things left just as they are, radical acceptance, great equanimity, patient forbearance, embracing everything, enjoying, appreciating everything. Right now. This breath, this moment, only moment. Possibly this. Joyous Dharma of incandescent awakefulness, heart of the luminous great perfections of Jah. I was a teenage meditator, but I'm much freer and comfy now. In a great state of non-meditation, being at ease. As it is. As is. All together now. The joy of unmeditation. Just being. Awareful. The Buddha in you, duh. Let go and let Buddha do it through you. Right now. Just sitting, just breathing, just awareing. The three great ahs. Mahayana. Bodhisattvas. All together. What a relief. Natural. Awareness itself is the way, the truth and the light. The view, the meditation, unmeditation, undoing the habit of overdoing, and just being aware. And third, the action or the conduct, the altruistic activity of bodhisattvas, the awakeners, the spiritual warriors. May all beings everywhere with whom we are inseparably interconnected and who want and need the same as we do, may all be awakened, liberated, healed, fulfilled, and free. May there be peace and happiness, harmony in this world, and an end to war, violence, oppression, injustice, and inequality. And may we all together complete the spiritual journey for a better world, for a better future to be possible, a better future, sustainable future, a beautiful future that begins with us right now. All together. We need each other to get enlightened, to be enlightened, as the Dalai Lama himself says. may we all together fulfill that spiritual promise. Again, bowing to the Buddha in your seat. May you realize her. Thank you.
Thank you, good Lama. A couple of questions for you. For people who are not used to meditating with their eyes open, and you're talking about not staring, but intermingling with space, I wonder if you can give a little bit more instruction about working with our vision. I could imagine for some people a tendency to want to shut their eyes even during the practice you just took us through.
Good question. Thank you. Of course, as meditation is slightly newish in our culture, and certainly to some of us, we've just found out about it recently or now, or we think of it as with closed eyes or in quiet place, and that's fine. That's one way. And I'm sure there are many opportunities to learn that way. And in some traditions, we practice with eyes open or eyes half closed, sometimes focused down maybe a yard in front of us, or just straight ahead, some even up. But the issue of eyes open, it's good to learn in the beginning, perhaps to concentrate and to meditate and to turn our outward directed, sort of desire-oriented attention inward for a certain time as a counterbalance to our great materialism or seeking something from outside in life. So it's good to learn how to go, quote, inwards. Well, eventually we have to just go deeper and realizing something beyond outside and inside. So similar with the gaze or the eyes. So it's nice to rest and relax and close our eyes and turn, quote, try to turn off the outer distractions or disturbances in a quiet place. But then the challenge often comes when we get up from our meditation and open our eyes in life, to drive, to walk around, to work, to live, to talk to others, to parent, etc. So we talk about cultivating awareness and mindfulness and gaining insight and wisdom and equanimity and depths and resilience and compassion on our meditation mat, and then carrying it into life. And the challenge is integrating it in daily life. Of course, life is where the action is. Meditation is a means. And light living or wakefulness or joyful well-being, wellness is the end. So with eye-open meditation, we learn to cultivate mindful awareness, presence of mind, and gain depth and insight and wisdom and equanimity with our eyes open. And then it's more easily integratable into daily life when we get up off our meditation mat or whatever posture we use. So eyes open is often recommended in Himalayan Buddhism, in Zen, etc. But then people think, well, it's hard to sit and meditate for a certain time with my eyes open. Although actually we have our eyes open all day, not such a problem, or watching a movie for an hour or two, reading a book, or whatever we do. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. And as I mentioned in the guided, we don't have to stare. It's not a staring contest. You're allowed to blink. So I recommend relaxed, and that's why I call it skygazing, space mingling, openness and awareness meditation, skygazing. Not staring, not looking, not identifying the clouds, not looking around for anything, or looking over the ocean but not counting the waves and thinking about different kinds of waves and weather effects or different kinds of clouds, cumulus and so on. So just gazing openly, like we're at a viewpoint on the side of the road or a hillside overlooking a valley or the ocean or a lake, and just gazing. And in that way, relaxed yet attentive and acutely present without straining, incandescently present eventually. But in the beginning, just present and aware. Remindfulness, remembering to remember what we're doing while we're doing it. Remindfulness, like while we're driving, remember we were driving, even though there may be some disturbance in the back seat with the kids or the dog or the multitasking. So remindfulness, just maintaining awareness moment to moment, not getting distracted. because distraction is really the nature of samsara. Samsara is distraction, losing ourselves into fragmentation and dispersion instead of wholeness, centeredness, regardless of big or small, outside or inside, still or movement. Being in the still center, eye of the storm, even in movement. So I find the eye-open practice is good for that. Of course, I encourage people to experiment for themselves. Sometimes with visualization or clear light meditation or other things, we do it with eyes closed, but in general, eyes open.
Now, LSD, you have mentioned a word several times that I think most people are probably hearing for the first time. Co-meditation. What do you mean by that?
Well, I've kind of coined that word, although it's around a little bit, and you like to call it intermeditation, Tammy, and you could read about it in our recent book, Make Me One with Everything, Co-Meditations to Awaken, See Through the Illusion of Separation. It means being with everything, and this relates to the eye-open thing, Tammy, not going inside and trying to separate from noise and distraction, but just being with it, cultivating more acceptance, co-meditating with it, intermeditating with it, breathing out into it. I know this is a little poetic. It's not so literal. We don't have to go around trying to give mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to the other people, animals, and trees. But yes, chronically or energetically speaking, yes, we do. Not just being a congealed, separate lump of egotism, or worse, a tight anal sphincter-like person with their shoulders up and everything clenched and barricaded out of fear, anxiety, and all that, worry. But breathing out and breathing in everything, and chronically from the heart, intermingling, interwoven with everything. So co-meditating, not just trying to sit quietly in a corner and get away from it all like a vacation. Because meditation is not a vacation, it's an integration. It's a way of realizing oneness, or intermeditation, interbeing with everything and everyone. And that solves a lot of our problems, and that brings a great feeling of harmony and oneness and trust and belonging and loving kindness, and opens the door to treating others as we would be treated, as the Golden Rule says. I'm all for the Golden Rule, but like Buddhism is very utilitarian. You ask the question, how? How can we treat others as we would be treated when we're full of greed and aggression and ignorance and separateness and fear and so on? So this helps open us and make us vulnerable, but not overly overly sensitized, kind of vulnerable and resilient at the same time, centered, yet not narcissistic, not self-enclosed, not self-preoccupied.
No tight anal sphincters. I'm with you, good Lama. Which brings me to the last question I want to ask you, which is, when it comes to this idea of co-meditating with everything, seeing through the illusion of separation in regards to everything, I'm wondering if you could give us some helpful instructions on how to co-meditate through the election season that we're in. I think for many of us, there's a sense of certain candidates being experienced as other. How do I co-meditate during this election year?
Right. Challenging. You're raising the bar. Of course, I would be very happy to say, and I filled the book with exercises, how to co-meditate with your loved one, with your pet, with nature, with God, with the Dalai Lama, with, the beloved archetypes, yours is. But how do we co-meditate with the other as you're opposing it? Whatever you call it, the enemy, the adversary, the unwanted, or for that matter, the disease, the affliction, the crisis. That's the real challenge. So that's like the graduate course. After we learn to breathe out and breathe in, and from the heart radially, not just from our nose or mouth linearly, as we learn to be less clenched and barricaded and separate, we can practice with the difficult, quote, objects. So now you're mentioning the election season. I've heard of that. Of course, it's only a local election. There are other things going on in the world, but it's a local, important national election. I think we could learn how to co-meditate with the one we don't like. Let's just put it that way. I won't mention any names to protect the guilty, let's say, or should I say the unliked by me, more subjective. Everything is so subjective, of course. Let's follow Ram Dass, our great spiritual pioneer and mentor's advice, who said, since you may have some holy images or family pictures in a special place or an altar, if you're a meditator, if you're a prayer, you may have an altar with some pictures on of beautiful, of gurus, of archetypes, of Buddhas, of deities, of goddesses, of Jesus, whoever you like and love, whichever archetype. Put a picture of the unloved, of the enemy, of the whoever bugs you the most on there also, so it will help you to meditate with them also, co-meditate with them, and see how subjective it all is, and how even the enemy today could be the friend or our best teacher tomorrow. As it says in the Tibetan teaching, the adversary, the crisis, the enemy could be our best teacher. Our friends are beautiful and beloved and important, but sometimes they just stroke our egos and reinforce the same habits, which won't get us out of our ruts. So the enemy, the adversary, the crisis can be our greatest teacher. This is a Tibetan saying. So I advise you to put a picture of whoever that might be. And Tammy, maybe I'll send you one because I could guess who's bugging you. But there may be others who bug you too. Just like, I have my pantheon of those who bug me as well as of those who inspire me. But in the end, we're all endowed with the luminous Buddha nature and all God's children, if you want to talk theism. And I think we need to, if we feel called to in this way, see through these subjective distinctions and preferences and realize that there's no unequivocal good or bad. There's only the wanted and the unwanted, as Shakespeare said. There is no good or bad, but thinking makes it so. So Buddhism also subscribes to that way of thinking. And we could even it out and learn to love everybody better, even the ones we don't like or agree with. And then we will treat them better, even if we argue and disagree with them, we don't vote for them. And we'll have more patience and tolerance for these endless political machinations and scandalous stories and mudslinging and all that goes with these local elections, even a national election, just a local election. Really, there is a bigger picture. As my neighbor, erstwhile neighbor here in Massachusetts, Eastern Massachusetts, used to say, Thoreau, I'm not as interested in reading the news as in the timeless, the eternities. So we can still read the news and be socially active and engaged, and I hope we will be. We are. But also, let's not lose touch with the other side, the timeless, the eternities.
Good Lama, thank you so much for bringing this introduction to Dzogchen, the natural great perfection, to the Meditation Summit. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, and love to you all. That's the main thing.